What's up, YouTubers? PokeJediTrek's here. So today's cooking video, I'm going to be showing you a pretty unique way to make a pie called a s'mores pie. Now, one of the most unique things about s'mores pies is say it's the middle of summer, as it is right now at the time of when you're seeing this. But anyway, say it's in the middle of summer and if the weather is surprisingly pretty murky and pouring rain outside, and you don't want to have to go outside and deal with all the consequences of it being cloudy all the time, but yet you're craving something around the campfire like s'mores. Well, I'm going to be showing you how to make a s'mores pie. So let's go over what we need. Now, s'mores pie is going to take quite a lot of ingredients. You're going to need butter, marshmallow cream, or creme, I don't know how it's pronounced, but either way. You also need graham crackers, chocolate bars, vanilla extract, salt, baking powder and baking soda, mini marshmallows, eggs, sugar, and flour. So let's get started. So first things first, you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you're going to need a pie pan. As you can see, I'm using a cake pan in this video here because I was searching through our dishes and our baking supplies. I was searching through our baking supplies and I couldn't find a pie pan. I could have sworn I had found one, but apparently we don't have one. So I'm going to spray down this cake pan, which I'm going to use in lieu of a pie pan. There we go. And then we're going to set this aside. So first things first, you're going to add a stick of softened butter to a mixing bowl. And then what you're going to do next is add 3/4 of a cup of your granulated sugar. There's half, 3/4. And then what you're going to do after you add your sugar is you're going to mix it. So next you're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of your vanilla extract to the mixture. Whoops. Wasn't intentional. And then you're also going to add an egg to the mixture. Whoops. Get the shell out. We can't, yeah, because one of the important things about cracking eggs is that you can't add the shells. So now you're going to stir you're going to combine your vanilla and your egg yolk and your vanilla in your. So basically, you're going to combine the egg and the vanilla to the butter and sugar that you mixed. And that's just the timer to indicate that the oven has been preheated. Preheated quite a lot sooner than I thought, but as long as I'm not wasting gas. Oh, I also forgot to mention the graham cracker part. You're going to need to crush your graham crackers, like the whole package full, while they're still in the box. You're going to crush them. You're going to crush them. This is actually a method I discovered. I just figured this out. I didn't discover this in advance. I just figured it out. But what you're going to do is you're going to crush these graham crackers while they're still in the package. Drat, I just realized I'm not getting this on camera, but you're going to crush these graham crackers. As many as you can. Don't even know why I brought out this cutting board. There we go. Oh, ruptured the package. Anyway, so here you're going to add 3/4 cup of your crushed up graham crackers to the mixture. Once, yep. And then you're also going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder to the mix. Let me clean the measuring spoon I was using earlier. Give that a little rinse. And then I'm going to, anyway. One teaspoon of baking powder. And then I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt. So here's the half teaspoon of salt. Gonna mix all this together, like so. Oh, I forgot to mention, I almost forgot that you also got to add 1.5 cups of flour to the mixture as well. So that was half a cup. Here's half. No, that was half. That's half. Here's 3/4 of a cup. Here's a whole. 1 1/4. 1 1/2. Right there to mix that around shortly. Can't believe I forgot about the flour. Next, you're going to take half your mixture, now that it's been divided into the ball, into the best of my ability for a ball, but anyway, you're going to spread the entire stuff you made for your crust. Go. Next, you're going to take your marshmallow cream, and what you're going to do is you're going to spread it all around, and you're going to spread this in a singular layer of this crust entirely. My goodness, this stuff is sticky. My goodness, this stuff is so sticky. I've also crushed up some of the chocolate bars in advance, but what you're going to do is you're going to add you're going to add one of your packets of chocolate bars to the dish. See if I can get this container open. Sorry if it's off camera, but I'm gonna add a layer of your chocolate to the mix. And you're going to sprinkle 2/3 of your mini marshmallows on top as well. As you can see, I am actually showing that I'm not afraid to experiment. Typically, you're supposed to use plain marshmallows, but I've decided to experiment with the fruity fun types, as evidenced right here. Yeah, a few cutaways ago when you saw me crushing those graham cracker crusts about me, why I pulled out this cutting board. Well, now I actually realized why I needed it. It's actually for this next step. As you can see, I just laid some wax paper onto it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to knead the last of the graham cracker crust into what I need to cover up the pie on top of the pie. Going to be a little bit of a knead it for as long as I need to. Come on. Alright, so I'm going to try to move the crust onto the pie. Wasn't as wide as... not as wide as I thought, but it'll have to do. It's not as wide as I thought, but it'll have to do. So, anyway, I'm going to put this in the oven, and then I'm going to let it bake in there for 10 minutes. Alright, so the first 10 minutes are up. So I'm going to pull this out of the oven for just a little bit. And then for this final part, you're going to sprinkle the remaining, then you're going to sprinkle the other bar of chocolate, because if you notice when I introduced the ingredients, I used 2 bars of chocolate. But I also got to forget the one more additional third of marshmallows on top. Then you're going to set the pie back in the oven, and you're going to let it bake for another 10 minutes. All right, 10 minutes have passed. We're going to pull this thing out of the oven, and then we're going to let this sit at room temperature for at least 1 hour so it can cool. Looks to me more like an overflowing cake, but so far, as some of you know, nobody's perfect, and I've tried my best, and we'll know for sure how I did when we find out once this thing is cooled. All right, so a whole hour has passed, and we let the pie cool down. So I'm gonna see about cutting into this thing. Cut myself off a slice. Stick it to a plate. Alright, this is how the final product will look like. Let's take a bite and see how it tastes. This is actually pretty good. Yeah. So that's practically how to make a s'mores pie. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time.